Hi, welcome to the 1880s through
1890s.
I'm Hannah.
And I'm Ashley.
In 1884, the Alaska Territory was organized.
In 1890, the Oklahoma Territory was organized.
And in 1898, Hawaii was annexed. In 1880, stationary steam engines powering threshing machines were becoming more prevalent in Illinois' wheat fields.
In 1886, there were more than 1,000 labor-related strikes in the state. At a labor assembly near the High Market in Chicago, a bomb exploded, killing over 75 people. As a result, some labor leaders were sentenced to death, and the progress of organized labor was slowed.
In 1889, Jane Addams opened Hull House in the worst slum district on the west side of Chicago. Addams and her associates developed programs to educate and improve the living conditions of immigrants, about half the population of Chicago at the time.
Yep.
In 1881, 2 million Eastern European Jews immigrate to the United States.
The Chinese Exclusion Act restricts all Chinese immigrants to the United States for a period of 10 years.
In 1882, the Immigration Act of 1882 levies a tax of 50 cents on all immigrants landing at U.S. ports and makes several categories of immigrants eligible for citizenship, including lunatics and people likely to become public charges.
The Alien Contract Labor Law prohibits any company or individual from bringing foreigners into the United States under contract to perform labor. The only exceptions are those immigrants brought to perform domestic service and skilled workmen needed to help establish a new trade or industry in the United States.
And in 1886, the Statue of Liberty is dedicated in New York Harbor. And in 1890, the demographic trends in immigration to the United States shift as immigration from Southern and Eastern Europe substantially increases, while the relative proportion of immigration from Northern and Western Europe begins to decrease.
And now, some interesting facts with Hannah Daly.
In 1890, the dollar brownie camera film is 15 cents a roll. In 1890 also, the first jukebox, coin-operated cylinder phonograph with 4 listening tubes, was invented. Very cool, right? Mm-hmm. And also in 1890, Emily Dickinson's first book of poems was written. Very nice.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And in 1891, large press prints and folds 90,000 4-page papers an hour. And in 1891, photographers can load camera films in daylight, not just in a dark room.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting.
Also, in 1882, portable typewriters were invented. In 1882, automatic telephone switchboard comes into service. And in 1883, Coca-Cola is registered as a trademark by a pharmacist in Atlanta.
And in 1883, magazine circulation. Work creates mass national readership in the U.S. And in 1885, single-lens reflex cameras are popular, but very expensive. Got it? Hello, folks, and we're very sorry.
There's been a misunderstanding about the time period we were doing. So we have 1890 to 1899, but we were just talking about 1880 to 1899. Sorry, folks. Now you have extra information.
We are very, very, very sorry.
Sorry, guys.
We're very sorry.
Sorry. So, in 1890, the Sherman Antitrust Law was established.
December 29th, 200 Sioux are killed by soldiers at Wounded Knee, South Dakota.
In 1891, the first international copyright law was also established.
900,000 acres of Indian land in Oklahoma opened to white settlers. According to the Almanac of American History, on March 24th, 1883, telephone service is put into operation between Chicago and New York. The Library of Congress, however, puts the date at 1892.
In 1893, the financial panic of 1893 occurred. Also, in Hawaii, Queen Luku'aulin's government is
May 11th through August 3rd, in Chicago, after the Pullman Palace Car Company reduces wages, workers strike. A general sympathy strike ensues on June 26th. Despite protests by Illinois Governor John P., deputy marshals and U.S. troops are called out to quell the strikes, and 34 people are killed. Very sad. Then the Cuban Rebellion happens in 1895. Strike of trolley workers in Brooklyn, New York leads to riots. Crisis in waning gold reserves causes hoarding. Citing the Sherman Antitrust Act, the Supreme Court upholds an injunction against striking railway workers, claiming that the strike impedes interstate commerce. Very interesting.
Yes, I see. In 1896, January 19th, the first use of X-rays to treat breast cancer were established. In 1896, Utah becomes a state.
On July 2nd, 1890, the Sherman Antitrust Act became a law. It is the first U.S. law to limit monopolies and its oldest piece of antitrust legislation. July 14th, 1890, the Sherman Silver Purchase Act was enacted. The act required the government to purchase 4.5 million ounces of silver, bullion, every month, with currency that was backed by both gold and silver. This caused people to sell their silver and then demand gold for the notes they received, depleting the U.S. gold reserves. February 20th, 1895, an act of Congress designated that Assai office in Denver, Colorado, as the Denver Mint. The new mint was authorized to coin gold and silver.
In 1897, March 2nd, the office of the Supervising Tea Examiner was established. It later developed into part of the Food and Drug Administration. In 1898, a loudspeaker is invented. In 1899, the magnetic sound recording was also invented. Stop it. In 1899, the Marconi radio gear was installed in British warships to signal across the English Channel. In 1899, the first Japanese-made film. That's it for today, girls. Thanks!
Thanks for watching!
Bye! Overall, you've learned many, many facts and many laws on the decade 1880 to 1899. Thanks for watching us at
Channel 5 News
by Hannah Daly and Ashley Howarth. Thanks! Have a great day! Bye!